Is there something going on at Mapperley Tunnel? Are there some developments happening in the background that may or may not give it some kind of use? Not as a tunnel or a through route, but either it'll be buried, fenced off, gated off completely, or turned into that tourist attraction that was mentioned. Yeah, you heard me right. There was plans before COVID to turn this into some kind of tourist attraction. At the beginning of the cutting down that leads up to the tunnel, there's been some interesting but very, very small developments. So I'm going to walk down and show you that now, and then have your say on what you think will happen with this tunnel. Okay, so I'm going to be walking past the old troughs and the old tubs, which have been here for many, many years, and get myself onto the path that takes us down to the steep drop down to the tunnel, which is just a little way down here. Now, pretty much everybody that's ever come to see Mapperley Railway Tunnel has most likely gone down this way. It's better at this time of year because it's not slippy and muddy. So I'm going to attempt to get myself down carefully, and we'll see what is going on. Okay, so this is very, very curious, isn't it? We've got these very, very new wooden fence posts going down this access path. That is where I've just come down, look. I was just stood at the very top of there. And normally you have to you sort of run down there and hope for the best that you aren't going to fall over. This is curious, and it does look like the track bed itself may have also been clear. On a side note also, you used to be able to walk along here 4 or 5 years ago, and then it just became all overgrown, look, but it has all been cleared. But only this far, and then up to here it's been cleared as well, look, and then it's fenced off. And on the other side you've got the recently opened bypass. So back to the top then, let's get ourselves down to the track bed. Going past these posts on my left hand side, which is indeed very, very curious. And there we are at the very, very bottom. Now, immediately turn around, you used to have to climb over this tree trunk, but that has been cut away, look. It's been put into 2 sections just there in half, and we can carry on. It looks very well worn down, doesn't it? So there's something down there, look, some sort of, is it sleepers? Because it's all been disturbed, there's probably things that have been unearthed, that have been buried for a very, very long time. Bolt there, and a bolt there as well, look. And again, another tree trunk cut in half, and that's been discarded over there. Let's push on a little further. I'm going to assume they've had some sort of equipment down here. There's the remains of what we believe was an old Ford car. You see some of the old gearing on it, look. Yeah, this is usually a bit of a swamp down here, but it is extremely clear down here. It looks like there's more evidence of things being removed, chopped, as we progress down the track bed. My initial thoughts were that they've probably had some equipment down here and reinforced the tunnel entry, or put new fencing up, but it looks like the same fencing that's been here for the last 4 or 5 years. But if they have rolled some sort of equipment down here, there's no trace of wheel marks or caterpillar marks. So why have they been cutting the trees? There's an old sleeper in the ground just there, look. And evidence of another tree that has been chopped. So we approach the portal of Mapperley Tunnel. Now, at one time there was in fact plans to do something with this, make it a kind of a tourist attraction completely. I think they wanted to glass the front off in some way. That was around about 2019, 2020, and make it so you could walk all the way down the track bed and approach the tunnel and see it in its, well, for what it was. It's like for historical purpose, a bit like it's just a tourist attraction at the end of the day, isn't it? But I couldn't find anything online since 2020 to support that story, but it is out there on the internet. It's looking a little bit worse than the last time I did come here. What I'd really like to highlight is this huge double crack in the masonry on the right hand side, and the state of the supporting wall coming down, look. Those weeds coming out there are really not helping that, are they? right the way down, look. As we look at the arch on the left hand side, you can see there's a hell of a lot of brickwork missing out of there, look. That's degrading by the day, isn't it, that? And you've also got those 4 square sections in the wall there, which I believe was something to do with signalling. So I think what we should probably do, I'm going to go inside and see if there are any further changes. We'll light it up as best I can, and I'll probably do a lot of still photography because I believe they always come out better, don't they? So there we have it, Mapperley Tunnel again. Probably be maybe the final time I'll ever actually get down here. I think I say that every time, but I haven't been down here for a couple of years. But I'm hearing about the wood and the posts being put in at the other end, which has clearly been put in to allow safe access down to the track bed, and the chopping of the trees. The tunnel itself, to my eye, looks pretty much the same as when I last came down in 2023. Although the rubbish stack and the crap stack does seem as if it is still slowly deteriorating and collapsing. I'd love to hear your thoughts on what may or may not be happening. Please comment down below if anything you may have heard, rumours, stories, or absolutely you think nothing at all will actually happen, and eventually one day it is pretty much going to collapse, isn't it? And that'll be sad. But for now, let's hope that there is even a slightest chance that something can be done. Away from the tubs and troughs that we saw at the beginning of the film, I've always been curious about this cut-out section. It's like a quarried section. I've never actually been down. A quick look at maps from the early 1900s, you can see the portal of Mapperley Tunnel where we have just been looking. Now, in the centre of shot, look, you can see these lines, and they are sidings which are coming away from Gedling Colliery and must have been storage for empty or full coal wagons waiting to be used on the next journey. The little line top right was the old Mapperley incline to a brickworks, I believe. I'm sure I've chosen the wrong time of year to come down here, but as I say, I've never been down here. You can see levels of stonework all around, look, running along there. They've even used old railway sleepers down here, look, against that red sandstone to prop it up. Those tubs and troughs are just above that edge up there. So these are the remains of something, but that could have also dropped down from above. It wasn't originally down here. Can continue to go around. There's this as well, look. Some kind of old gearing, isn't it, that? That's very, very, there's another piece of something, look. There's all sorts down here. Let's just pop around here. So the sleepers have disappeared, look. They only seem to be against the sandstone in that corner. Not sure if we're going to get all the way to the other side. It looks like there's definitely buildings down here at one time, doesn't it? The lumps of concrete everywhere. I don't know if we're going to get through here or not. Give it a go. So this looks a bit sketchy, but piles of old railway sleepers down there, isn't there? So if these were indeed sidings of some sort down here for the colliery, this is probably where they all got scooped up to, isn't it? I clearly can't get over there, so I'm going to have to come back the way I came. quite a swampy mess as well in the winter or after rainfall. Just gonna, I don't think I'm gonna see anything else, but I'd rather just check than leave and miss something. So, made it through the stone wall. There's a lot of iron rods knocking around, look. So, clearly there was something. There's some steel flooring, safety slip flooring there. More concrete sections and bricks laden all over the place as well. And back out onto the forward track bed. And that does appear to be it. So again, I would absolutely love to know your thoughts on what you think will happen to this. It's a shame if it does disappear, and as I say, the land around is allegedly for sale, and is this included in that? It's interesting with that bit of land that's been flattened over the cutting up to the fence where the bypass is, has been totally, you know, got rid of, and you can actually walk up to the fence, but the fence, there's no gate there or anything, so it's peculiar, isn't it? So for the cutting and the tunnel, who knows? I'd love to know your thoughts and what you think you may know, and then we'll see what happens. Like, subscribe, and please comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts and future suggestions. Thanks to all channel members and also Facebook subscribers. I'll see you in the very next one. Bye for now.